We could do that.
You already pressed recording.
I did. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 20 and a half of the Popcorner Podcast.
If you watched the last two, we kind of had, a conversation in the beginning because this clown here records when I'm in mid-conversation. So we have, the first one was tent worms. And then
they're bagworms, dude.
Yeah, whatever. They turned into moths. We learned that. And then last time, I think we were having a mukbang video while also, talking Fortnite. So,
yeah, we were.
This time, though,
there's nothing crazy. There's no rumples of the paper happening here today. Actually, we're just chilling. With that being said, though, today, as I said...
spider! Sorry, I didn't want him to make any cobwebs.
I just envision myself in the post, adding in the one musical part from The Boys where he's like, dun, 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 dun. It just says, it would have been funny.
Everyone's disappointment. I mean, you could have done it, but, here we are.
Okay, cool. Anyway, today we watched Cobweb. That's what it's called.
That's what?
Did you just say that? Did you just say that?
That was the point of my whole meme joke thing there.
I understood your joke. I just assumed you just said the name of the movie. Anyway, we watched Cobweb. We enjoy each other here. We've been doing this for almost 30 weeks in a row.
Plus the friendship beforehand.
That's crazy. No, we found each other on Craigslist.
It's true. He wanted to buy my sofa or something like that, and he came over, and then we used the sofa. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Popcorn audience, if there's even one of you that returns regularly and not just from the random clickbait, let me tell you something. We got plans. All right, I'm not ready to disclose the plans in case things fall through, but there are plans for this podcast.
It has nothing to do with us and couches, by the way.
Not couches. They've got big plans. We got big plans, let me tell you. It's going to be a good time.
God.
Anyways.
Cobwebs. They are made by spiders. Did you know that?
What's up with you and your bug facts here?
I'm just, listen.
Are cobwebs actually from spiders?
Yeah, it comes out of their cheeks. You know what I'm saying?
But what creates a cobweb compared to just a spider web? Why is it called a cob? Is it because of the shape like a cob?
I mean, probably.
Slob on my knob?
Okay, then.
Why are cobwebs
called?
Wait, just why are cobwebs? Unlike spider webs, which spiders use to contact and trap, or catch and trap. Okay, shut the fuck up. Cobwebs are vacant homes spiders have abandoned to move on to greener pastures.
Okay, so cobwebs are just so they're abandoned. They're just abandoned webs that spiders don't use.
It kind of fits with the theme a little bit.
Because they abandoned the daughter.
Dude, spoilers.
Yo, if you watch, I'm sorry. Wait, we're doing a review. You should. Get out of here.
Yeah, no, honestly, spoilers. I don't think the only time we're ever not going to do spoilers
is if it's a newer movie.
Is if it's a brand new movie we've seen it opening night.
Yeah, like theater release type movie.
Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so
pumpkins.
What did you think about this movie?
I'm curious as to why there's so many pumpkins in the yard.
Pretty bitchin'.
It looks sweet.
Pretty
sweet
cool.
Set piece, and I love pumpkins, love Halloween. But why were they rocking these? Did they sell them for money? Maybe.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it?
I mean, they just kind of have a pumpkin garden out there, and then they're just like, yep.
So, yeah.
Well, neither of us have watched this movie
before. But we've both seen the trailer.
Yeah.
What did the trailer make you think going in? And how did that compare to the movie?
It made me think it was going to be super good. And,
no,
I'm not done. I'm not done here.
That's damning
I'm just telling you what I thought from the trailer.
Okay.
It was going to be really good. And then I saw relations to the Barbarian. And then I got worried.
Barbarian is one of the greatest movies of the last 5 years. Horror movies, at least, okay?
You hear that? I know the audience probably can't hear it, but you hear the chirping of the cricket out there? That's what you deserve.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
I'm ready to be done with this show.
Real talk. I thought the movie was going to be really good based off the trailer. I didn't know what to expect as far as what the big bad was going to be. Because the trailer made the parents look creepy, but it made whatever the monstrous thing was going to be creepy. And then like you see the one kid like hanging on and being like, "Help me!" And then
that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for that. That was one thing I was like, okay, what the fuck's gonna happen?
So
here?
like I was honestly just so compelled to see what's going on. What's going on here?
Like some of these key points are going to happen. What's gonna get you there?
Yeah, what's gonna get you
because like from what we were seeing, the movie starts out. This movie's like a triple fake out if you think about it, because there's like if you just watch the movie without seeing the trailer, you get the parents are bad. Right, that's what you. Or at first you get the demon.
Originally, you think that
or whatever
you think that the person or whatever's in the wall is the bad thing,
right?
And then they fake it to make it to where the parents look like the bad thing,
right?
But then it comes back around for the thing being in the wall an actual bad thing.
Yes.
So there's a lot of like, which don't get me wrong, the parents are not good.
The parents are not good people. I would argue specifically that, the dad.
You're grounded.
Yeah, no, he had some. It definitely seemed like the mom was scared of the dad too.
Yeah, for sure.
That, but at the same time, complacent.
Yeah, like the mom easily could have stepped in. I mean, like the part where he gets grounded, right? Like she was just trying to tell him to go to his room, but then the dad's like, basement, basement, grounded.
Yeah.
So
which it's like, okay. So with that being said,
what did you think though? Because that was my vibe from the trailer. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw the trailer, and first off, I'm thinking Homelander. Second off, I'm thinking...
I am better.
Yeah, and the trailer was really interesting. I think I couldn't quite place down what the movie was going to be about, and that kind of worried me in a way. But at the same time, it was also intriguing, because, like, it was worrisome in the sense that, like, you look at a movie trailer, and sometimes you're like, man, I just know that movie's going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
But then there's also times where it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued. I watched that whole trailer, but I don't know anything.
Yeah.
There's two sides to that same coin.
I was going to say, I think that's a double-edged sword.
And I ultimately ended up falling on, I want to see it. What it is.
Well, I mean, sometimes when it's set in stone, like, you're like, oh, this is going to be banging. Like, it's going to be a fun time.
Right.
And then, like you said, sometimes you see it and you're like, oh, this is going to be whack.
Right.
But this one was like a thing where you're like, I have no idea what the main point is.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of jibber-jabber all over the place. But like, the way they were shot and the way things were going down made it interesting to where we wanted to see it.
Right. I'm just going to pull up some facts about the film while you're talking.
Go for it, man.
Cobweb 2023 film.
Oh, it's this year film?
It's this year, yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't even know.
It was in theaters a couple months ago, I believe.
Really? I've never heard of this movie. Literally never until we ran into it on... Was it Netflix or was it just one of your like TV program things?
What?
Where we found the movie at? Because you put it on the wish list, right?
It's on Amazon.
Oh, Amazon.
So we just rented it.
Okay, we rented it, yeah. Well, I just know we ran into it and we were like, oh, this looks interesting. And then here we are. The spider was like a big point for some reason, but I never... What?
Yikes.
Did it not do good?
No, it did not do good at all.
Well, I've never heard of the movie, dude, so, like, it doesn't surprise me. $35 million is what the budget of the movie was.
35, yeah.
How much did it make back?
It's like, not a lot, man.
Yikes.
Yeah, we're talking... So we're talking... Okay, so 35 million, keep that in mind,
Yeah,
right?
35 million is how much the budget was.
Cobweb movie. And it says here, box office of 3.7 million.
Yikes.
That's rough.
I guess you could say the theaters were a cobweb themselves.
Yeah.
No, honestly though, that's not surprising to me because I've never heard of this movie. But like, it kind of sucks because like the movie was actually kind of decent.
Yeah, it deserved better.
Yeah, I think it deserved the profit back at least.
Yeah.
For the interesting idea at least. We'll get to it in a little bit, but the ending was not what we wanted.
Oh.
But up till the ending, like it was a good movie. It was pretty solid.
Okay.
But let's start out. Again, I was kind of getting into it until you started talking about the budget.
Gotcha,
but the spider metaphor stuff, like, I didn't need it.
It was just foreshadowing.
I know,
It was just
I
foreshadowing.
get it, but like,
calm down.
dude, they put so much emphasis on the spider. I'm like, I don't care.
I think they put enough into it to where you're able to remember it without it having to flash back. How's that?
Did you like the one flashback?
No.
Or she's like driving to the house and it just shows her on the phone.
It was so unnecessary that we needed to be reminded as the cast that she's, upset about this boy's well-being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No.
He hates flashbacks, by the way. Anytime there's a flashback in the movie, it is a negative for him every time.
I hate it when flashbacks are they treat me like I'm stupid. They treat me like I didn't just watch the prior hour.
Listen, we love Happy Death Day, but you remember the scene where Carter...
Oh my god.
It was like a minute later.
It literally was like...
He was so mad.
Oh my god, that was so bad. I remember that, because it was when they were going to go up to the thing, right?
They kill herself, or kill him, and end it. And then...
Kill myself. Yeah, I remember.
Good movie, by the way. We actually rated it really well, but that was one of his nitpicks for that movie.
Happy Death Day, great. Cobweb? I'm going to say it.
What?
Pretty good.
Like, it's not... All right, listen, let's just
Am I going to be a Cobweb defender?
You might be.
It's no barbarian, okay?
Yikes,
but
yikes.
Let's be real here for a minute, okay?
Listen, I want you to clash with me. Give me reasons why you think this movie's good right now. Right here, right now.
Good?
Yeah,
okay.
Good. Was it good?
Okay, number one color grading. I thought this movie fucking nailed its color.
Absolutely. I actually agree there.
It was actually, like, dark. If you look at the pumpkins, those pumpkins aren't fucking vibrant. The only vibrant pumpkin in this movie was Herbie or whatever the hell its name was, and he got smashed. Smashing Pumpkins reference, you know what I'm saying?
No, real talk. Also, with the color grading and stuff, and just the color in general.
And, like, the house is so dark all of the time.
Yeah, it's, like, creepy right from the get-go before anything even
happens. In the lit rooms are dark.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love that, like, it's so dark, like, when he's in the basement, and, like, he opens up, like, that secret hatch or whatever, and you look down there, and then you see, like, the teeth of, like, the teddy whatever ball thing.
Yeah.
You're like, whatever it is, it's got teeth, because we're like, is that something down there? Like, what is that?
I couldn't quite tell.
And then, like, when the monster comes out, or getting ready to come out of the, like, the opening that he opens for the monster or her or whatever, you see, like, her eyes. Like, that stuff is so cool.
Right.
Like, I agree there. I will agree with you on that. The coloring was phenomenal. And shadows
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Number two, let's talk about the girl, is what I think what's referred to in the titles. I liked the pacing upon which she was revealed.
Yeah.
I like, it's very slow. At first,
it wasn't.
It's just the mimicry female, little girl voice, and then the first thing we get as soon as she's released
is a different
the
voice.
old, haggard, evil, maniacal laugh. And this is after so long of, like, you starting to think, okay, she's leading this boy down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And then when you find out that he's there you go. The foreshadowing in this movie.
The rat poison. Dude,
the rat poison. I'm going to say, even the spiders, but the spiders weren't, like, a super relevant plot device.
That's why I just thought it was kind of lame, because it wasn't really that important. It was more of just like a metaphor.
It was to keep you in. It was to keep it in your mind, though.
Yeah. I think the rat poison was a really good callback, and I love it because we were watching them do the rat poison for the rats. I was like, how much rat poison would it take to kill a person anyway? I was like, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
And then you're all like, well, about to find out our answer.
Yeah.
Not really though, because I didn't see how much he put in it.
Yeah. Well, you trying to find something out?
I love that.
Trying to make soup for your family?
They're just like,
that was not good soup, by the way. That was fucking vile looking.
They're just sitting there eating it. They're like, it's pretty good, but something's different. And he goes,
maybe that was that was the metaphor the whole time. There was the big bear, the medium bear, and the little bear. And then
because he thought it was porridge at first,
and Goldilocks.
He thought it was porridge.
Goldilocks was in their house. She was trying out all their beds, and this one is just right.
No, the thing is like, well, obviously, like the dad dies right away.
I know,
but
I hated that.
The mom, that's why I was thinking that the big bad was not them though, because when she grabs the knife or whatever, and she goes up the stairs after our main character here, she doesn't try to use it, right?
Right. No,
she doesn't remotely even try to she's just trying to get up the stairs and stuff and trying to stop him, but she's not using the knife on him, and that's why I was like, okay, so clearly there's something more than just the parents being crazy and they killed a girl, or trapped this daughter in a room or whatever, and there's something else there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I thought the mystery of this movie, along with, I think it goes hand in hand with the girl. I think that was pretty well developed, established, and it leaves it just so ambiguous enough that you're questioning, Or like, for instance, when he goes down the stairs, he's listening to the parents the first time,
Yeah.
and like you don't hear what they're saying.
No.
But then there's other scenes where they're like, where or at that same scene at the end, you get the, clean sweep. We're gonna have to take care of all of it. I don't want to, but it's what we have to do. Like, no shortcuts or whatever.
That's one thing I will say about this movie, is that no matter how far we got into it, I was always questioning what was going on.
Right.
I'm like, are they bad? Is this bad? What,
Right.
Like, what's,
At one point, I legitimately thought that Peter was having, like, they keep talking about his imagination.
Yeah.
I was really thinking, like, is he making these situations worse than they really are?
That would be funny.
First off, was he imagining the voice?
Mm-hmm.
Was the voice that was telling him to do these terrible things his imagination? Was this really... I mean, this could have been a really interesting... That would have been a really, really cool twist. But as someone who is really big on those, like, creature feature stuff, I loved where they went with this.
I love, like, the design of the actual
I love
girl.
the hair, because the hair, it's not a video game like we're used to. The hair isn't floating behind her as she
It's
goes.
just, like, all on the floor.
It's just hanging down.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought that this creature's downfall was not gnawing off her hair?
Yeah.
Best source of protein.
No, before we get to the monster, though, I mean, I didn't really care too much for the teacher character. I mean...
It felt a little not out of place, but, for as strong as a presence as she was in the first half an hour.
Like, the beginning, it set up like she was going to be a real important character.
Right.
And, like, she comes back and, like,
and then they just use her for the end.
Yeah, but she's not used for, like, a whole good, like, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
It feels like. So, it's weird for her just to come back and be... That's what the flashback is so funny. They're just like, don't forget,
exactly.
This character is still a thing, by the way.
And the other thing about that flashback, actually, was that flashback was from... So he calls her towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, help me, please, help me. And that's what the flashback was for. It wasn't even for something that happened earlier in the movie that set her off.
No.
Now...
It wasn't like, maybe like... Nah, they already talked about it enough, but like if it was like the flashback to like the drawing or something, but like I feel like that was already used enough.
Right.
But
Yeah. I think the dynamic of this movie very interesting. If you want me to defend one more thing, I'm all ears, but I have criticisms too.
okay, let's hear one more of your good things, and then we'll go into the criticism.
Okay.
Because I'm letting you lead.
Do you
this
have
one.
any major good things here?
Major good things?
I mean, I want to hear.
well, a lot of my stuff is like the same as yours because like I really like what the monster looks like. All right, so like
you like what the okay?
Yeah,
I do.
love-
I just don't like the face.
Oh, okay, yeah, like but up to that point.
I know, which was great. Why they didn't reveal it until the very end.
Yeah. But like
I thought it could have been uglier.
Yeah. But like it looked like to me like honestly our friendship was built on Evil Within.
Oh,
so like that's like our first conversations together.
Yeah.
And like this whole monster creature, the way it's like, going around on like all fours and everything, and the long hair, it made us reminded me anyway of Laura from the Evil Within. So I'm
agree.
like, I love that design. I love it. And that was really good. I like the atmosphere of like everything being dark and Halloween vibe-ish. That is always awesome. A Halloween vibe horror movie is all I ever want in life. Those are always the best things to have.
Yeah.
And characters were okay. I like the parents. The parents were creepy and they were bad parents, and I like that.
What about that fucking kid?
No, that's what I was gonna get to. I was like, that kid, stupid. He literally gets pushed down the stairs, gets his leg broken, and this kid still goes, oh, where's his house at, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that. Like, the dude gets, like, either
House call.
Yeah, he gets, like, older kids to come with him, and then he just in there with his crutches.
I know. So,
If anyone deserved to die, it was that kid.
oh my god. Yes, I'm so glad he did.
Stop, hammer time. The dad was getting ready to bonk her, though, when she came to the house.
I know.
Dude just had the hammer in his hand the whole time, just like, he's bleeding. He's like, yeah, housework.
So at this point, have we come to realize that he was dealing with the girl? Is that what was going on?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's what it was. Because, like I said, obviously they weren't like perfect parents or anything, but I do think that like,
I mean, they still had to give her food and stuff.
They weren't justified 100%, but like them trying to keep the son away from all that stuff, because obviously they can't kill it, right? Like,
Right.
Maybe they can. I mean, I don't know if they've tried, but like they're locked it up and hid it, and like they're trying to keep the kid away from it, and they're trying to keep everyone out of the house so they don't run into it. Like they're just trying to keep everyone like kind of safe, I guess. So like I wouldn't say their parenting was good and super justified, but like it's not like they were.
It made it a little better.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I don't know. I think my biggest negative was just like the school bully part. Who cares? I mean, I get
agree.
it. Like, oh, he doesn't have friends. He gets picked on, whatever. But like,
it culminated in a cool scene where we
Kill
actually
count.
got to see the kill count.
That's
go
what
up.
it was for. The kill count. Yeah.
I mean, that was cool, but like, I feel like it was very unrealistic the way we got to this point. You know, so I don't know. Maybe I just don't know. You know, I would have rather preferred like sightings of something, and then like an angry mob shows up.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
we're gonna liberate this house or something, like just anything. But you know, let's you know, you seem to be not the biggest fan of this film.
no, I actually like this movie. I know you're gonna rate this one higher than me. That's why I'm like
Let's hop over to negative.
negatives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, major negative.
The biggest negative for me is the ending.
Ending.
The sourest taste in my mouth of all time.
Yes.
And like I can tell you right now how I would fix it. What they did with the ending was fine. Like
I just needed like 5 more minutes.
Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. It's like, oh, every creak you hear, every shadow you see, you're gonna think of me. And like I
would
like,
have loved for her monologue to get cut off
it's like them burning her, or killing her, or
by
something.
them pouring gas down on her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all that like imagery in his head, like what was happening. Like the way I took it was imagery in his head as she's talking.
Right.
And then I figured like after that it was gonna cut back to them and be like, nah, and then like they're gonna kill it or something.
Yes.
But nothing happened.
For what it's worth, I think it still is.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think
still
it was
imagery.
in
Yeah,
his head.
Yeah.
But I do wish we would have gotten closure on what we were to do with this person.
That's the thing. Like, okay, so all these kids die, the mom and dad die, so we lock her in the thing, and she's not dead yet, but then it ends right there, right? So it's like, what happens to the house? What happens to our 2 characters that are still alive?
Right.
Is the monster dead? Are they just keeping her in there forever? What's happening with the house? Like, all these questions. And, like, I guess if they wanted to make they're not making a sequel after that profit.
Oh, my God.
But, like, even if you wanted a sequel bait, you could have done it better by having, like, a cliffhanger instead of leaving all these questions unanswered.
Well, that's the problem. I didn't even feel like this movie was set up for a sequel.
Yeah,
it just because I think the mystery was 90% of this film's charm.
Yeah. Now that we know that, like, once you knew what it was, then it was like, okay, well, how are we gonna deal with it? That was like, because the whole time up to the build up to the end, you don't know what's in the wall. You're getting these lies and you're getting some of these truths. So like the whole time is like, what is in here? What is this? And I love that aspect of it.
Right.
But I like the pacing to an extent, but I wish we would have got a little more time with the monster being out. In my opinion, I would have loved it.
I think that would have destroyed.
You don't agree?
I don't.
I'm not saying I'm not saying
I would have loved to see it.
Yeah.
But I think it would have like devolved the plot much faster.
I just wish that like he would have unlocked it or something before the parents were dead, and like she was kind of like in the house.
I do agree with that, but then I wish they
I
were rich. I wish they had a bigger house.
Oh, yeah, so like it could have more room to like.
Yes.
Yeah.
More places for it to have been.
That's the thing I wanted more out of it, which, that's just what I wanted. But at the end of the day, what we got, the pacing was fine. that ending, dude. Why?
That ending was just premature.
Yeah.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough there. Acting, I think was good and bad.
Oh, yeah.
I think there were characters that were great. I think Peter was good.
Peter was great.
all of the family, the teacher, any of the. I really just didn't like the kids.
Yeah, the kids were stupid.
Outside of Peter. Peter was fine.
Yeah,
Actually,
Peter was
fine. Great, but like all the other kid stuff was just, I understood that we needed to see him standing up to a bully. Actually, that part I got. And getting bullied, that was fine for the plot.
Yeah, like sticking up for yourself. And like,
because I like to see that as his devolving into, listening to her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, think about it. She's the one that told him, like, oh, if you stuck up for yourself, you could probably, do it,
Right,
and then he does it. So like everything that he ends up doing that's like bad was because he was listening to her. So, and then that's why when she was out, she's like, "You're just like me. You killed." One thing I wish. I mean, it was okay for what it was, but I would have loved if they would have showed us maybe like, I know you don't like the whole like, oh, reverse time travel, like let's get a flashback and stuff like that. But I would have loved to have seen how the girl that went missing from Halloween one year died from the monster, or the daughter.
Right.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen, because I don't know, the way that it was set up is that the daughter was always locked up after she was born, but
Right. That's how people never knew she existed.
I would have loved to have known how she killed the girl then.
I have to imagine. This is my assumption. She must have gotten out
Yeah.
that night.
Mm.
It must, just coincidence or whatever. Somebody opens the door, not who you wanted to be opening the door. You know what I mean? Something like that happens. The parents find it.
Yeah.
They cover it up. She's not exactly entirely antagonistic to the parents at that point. She's known nothing different in life.
Yeah. I just would have loved to
then-
have seen that in the movie with my own eyes.
There definitely wasn't. I wish one of the parents would have just been incapacitated until the end. Even if they did end up dying at the end, I would have loved, like the mom.
I think the mom would have been the one to do it. I mean, real talk.
Yeah. Well, by the time when she fell on the knife there at the end, or at her end, she was holding it. I kind of half expected the dad to be like in the closet, like he was unconscious the whole time or something from it or whatever, but he hadn't died. But
I just meant like as far as like one of the parents to like try to save him or whatever,
Right,
or, like,
I
come
know.
back.
Yeah.
I just figured the mom was more the vibe of like wanting to be at least more protective, I guess.
right,
That's kind of the vibe I got.
yeah.
But I don't know. You got any like big negatives? Because like the ending is the biggest one for me.
That's the biggest one for me. I didn't like the look of the girl's face.
Yeah.
Pacing wise, this movie, I thought it actually flowed pretty well. That was another positive for me. Gore wasn't bad. What little bit there was, like the splash of the blood, it was mostly just blood. But I liked it.
Yeah, I wish that the gore would have been a little bit more on screen, but I like the like shot where he gets like dragged underneath the like piano or whatever it was, and then you hear the chop, and then just
yeah,
that was cool. The guy who gets like his head like chopped off or whatever, that was cool. But I wish that like because we didn't even see the kid die, right? Like you just hear him screaming.
I don't think they can show that.
Can they not? Is that like, I know in games you can't, but can you do that in movies?
It's definitely not tasteful.
I don't know.
If they were probably trying to avoid a 17+ rating.
Gotcha.
So
well, there was another kid. How'd he die? Because there was 3 older kids. One got it was the one that gets like dragged.
Yeah, you see
away.
that.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I would have seen more on screen, like because I really like when what's the teacher's name? Deval, isn't that what it is? Delvine, something like that.
Delvine.
Something like that. But I love like when she's like, I don't know what you are, but I'll kill you if you hurt. And then you see like the monster actually scratch her.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff I would have loved to have seen more of.
Right.
But I would put that in my negatives a little bit because as for what it was, like it wasn't bad. I'm okay with what we got.
Right.
But I would have loved to have seen more gruesome scenes where you actually see her like claw things or like jump on things and like, be a little more brutal with it.
That's fair.
But
okay, well, I mean, I don't want to waste time. Do we want to hop into like a final verdict type situation?
You're the more positive guy. I want to hear it.
Okay, so I think this movie, pacing wise, was great up until the end when it just stopped. That was abysmal. That really didn't help the film at all. It felt like conclusion outside of the fact that the 2 characters I wanted to lived.
Yeah.
It didn't give me what I wanted. I felt like the ending could have been a little different. Maybe a little bit more of a monologue. Maybe as she's burning, it cuts to him finding some, note or journal about how they've kept her or something, from the parents. A little bit more closure on, what's been going on here, because we didn't get it from the parents. I think the mystery of this movie was pretty well done and well paced as well. Creature design, loved it up until the face. Also didn't like that it was kind of CG, wasn't it?
I don't know. To me, it looked like a fish.
It did
That's the vibe I got when I saw it.
It did kind of look like a fish. Trailer for this movie actually does it wonders.
Yeah, it made
I
me
recommend.
interested.
This is one of the few times where I recommend watching the trailer before watching the movie, because it's like one of those few instances where you're like, okay, I know this, and this happens. Obviously, you're this far into the review, you know what's going on. I understand that. But to anyone that you may want to get to watch this movie, tell them to watch the trailer and then let them watch the movie. And I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. I think the pacing at the end, or the lack thereof, any kind of pace, was really bad. I didn't like that. I didn't like the, face of the character. Thankfully, we only see it once. Gore was good. I don't know. I mean, the ending really does bring it down a lot for me, and that's the number one thing that weighs heavily. But it's not a terrible movie. It's not scary.
No.
There's a few scenes that are like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And there are a few moments that are like cringe-worthy tense, like when the mom finds him talking on the phone.
Yeah, like, you're like, oh god.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, you're like, oh god. But
so
yeah,
6.5. I think that's right. I think that's. I don't think that's too far off of anything. I would be like 7 to 8 range would be if the ending stuck the landing.
yeah. If the ending if the ending was what I figured it would have got wrapped up, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, it just doesn't. And I was like, man, you made it all this way.
Yeah, like why didn't you finish?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably with the budget, they couldn't afford the extra film.
So 6.5 is what you're at?
6.5. I think, quite frankly, this movie deserved better from what we've seen here with our rough little visual. And this is not a movie that I think demands a sequel.
No.
But I would love to know more. I wish this movie was like 5 to 10 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I've stated, you already know, ending 100% took so much out of me for that.
Yeah.
Like we went on this journey for this whole movie, and everything was set up so nicely just for it to fall on its face.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's like if I'm watching a movie, I would much rather it be really slow and bad in the beginning and then pick up and do really well at the end. Not the other way around.
That's fair.
That's what this movie did. It did really well up until the very end, and the end is where you want it to be the strongest, in my opinion.
I agree.
But the gore, like I said, I wish I could have seen some more gruesome, like actual on-screen stuff. But
for the tone of the movie,
yeah, for the tone of the movie,
I said,
yeah.
I didn't mind what it was.
It was more so because like during that slaughter fest, it was more so like we still didn't fully see the creature for what it was yet. You were still seeing it like the first kill, you just see the hair, so you know it's over there. And then, like, all these kills are off screen because we haven't seen the thing on screen other than, like, the one part where it's, like, climbing on the wall in the darkness.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even fully visualize and see what it looks like yet. So, for it being, like, behind the scenes, kind of, I get the approach they were going for. I just wish that I would have seen a little more of the scratching on the leg and, like, more gruesome stuff like that.
Right.
And not having that is fine. That's not really a big negative for me. It's just if I were to, nitpick stuff, that's one of them. And this movie, like I said, I love the whole darkness. Like that was the biggest thing. I didn't even think about that until you brought it up. But the lighting was great, fantastic.
Yeah.
It like when he was at school and stuff, it gave off like a fall vibe. But then as soon as he went home and he was no longer in the safe confinement of like public space,
right,
it was like complete dark.
Yeah,
no matter
it doesn't matter lit or not.
Yeah, it didn't
even when
matter.
she was in their house during the day, it was like the light was barely peering in.
The house on the outside even looked creepy,
it
dude.
looked bad.
And like I said prior,
so I guess you could say set design, pretty good.
Yeah, like all that was really good. One thing I didn't understand that we didn't talk about was when the substitute was trying to rush over there at the end, and then the little girl just sitting in the middle of the street with like a light. I was like,
yo, what the fuck?
What?
She just stopped at the.
She's like, get out of the way. What?
Also, that brings into question once again the kids who broke into the house. It's now confirmed it was not too late for trick or treaters at that point, since there were trick or treaters after.
What if that was the ghost of the girl who died and missing on?
Stop.
Well,
there were kids with her.
Was there?
There was a parent and another kid off to the side.
Oh, I want to talk about that too. They're like, oh man, the one girl that went missing when they went trick or treating. We can't let you go trick or treating and dress up and do all that.
Yeah.
Who lets their kid go out by themselves, dude? You're a parent. Go with them. You know what I'm saying?
Be a parent. Yes.
Duh.
Yeah.
I thought that was
that's like people saying like online like, hey, you can't post this. My kid, you can see it. Control what your kid what your kid sees.
Don't let your kid use Twitter.x.com.
X.com, yeah.
No,
which already sounds like a site that kids should not be on.
should not be on.
Yeah.
Overall, though, going into this movie with the trailer, I was intrigued, and like the strongest part about this movie is it keeps you intrigued until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you would have like found out about the monster halfway through,
best pair of blue balls this movie
yeah,
could have.
like think about it. Okay, think about it.
Okay.
If you would have saw the monster like 30 minutes in,
brutal.
It would have been bad.
It would have been.
Especially if they would have kept the vibe of off-screen kills and stuff. Not it. But overall, which I think that contradicts a little bit of me, but like I would have liked to see the monster a little bit more. But I didn't want to see it be revealed like 30 minutes in. I was just thinking like an extra like 10, 15 minutes.
Gotcha.
Which could have revolved around a better ending.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair enough.
Overall, I think you're going to rate this one higher than me, actually.
Wow. Still.
But not by much. I think this movie kept me entertained, and I don't hate that I watched it.
I definitely recommend this movie.
Yeah, like if you've never watched it, it's a pretty good watch.
Yeah.
It's just that ending left the biggest sour taste in my mouth. And with that in mind and things not getting answered and everything, I got to slap it on a 6. Like I'm on a 6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm around the same area as you because I thought that this movie was good for what it was. It's just they didn't like I said, I think it deserved better for the return. Like the profit that they put into it, the budget versus what they got back.
Yeah.
I think it deserved better. I think it should have received at least the amount of money they used back.
Right.
And it's weird because, like I said, for me, I've never heard of this movie until we saw it.
Well,
so.
that's how you know there wasn't any extra money put into marketing.
So. Yeah. I was going to say marketing,
I think I saw maybe one trailer on TikTok. No? Yeah.
I've never heard of this movie until we saw the trailer.
I had heard of the movie but while it was in theaters, but that was it. So, with that being said, it's unfortunate. You know, whoever made this movie perhaps may not want to do another horror movie just yet, and that's unfortunate. That's why it's sad. Ultimately, I don't really care if they make their money back, but it discourages good movies like this.
Yeah.
In the future. So, with that being said, this has been Popcorn episode 28/29. Thank you for watching.
With that in mind, we're about to leave this here area, and it's going to become a cobweb until next week.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Goodbye.
Peace.
Oh, God.